Good morning. Welcome to YAP. Today I'm joined by Laura. Laura's show just dropped because I just laid some information that is going to change the course of her life. Laura.
Hi.
Let's talk about my goat real quick.
Oh my god, Abdel, that's so embarrassing.
Look,
you should really stop saying that. You should really stop saying that.
He is going down in my ranks.
Thank God.
So maybe there's something. Andrew Schulz, a comedian, quote unquote, has been beefing with Kendrick Lamar, of all people. And this all started, so basically how this started was he had Shits and Gigs on.
Yep.
Andrew Schulz had
podcast?
Shits on. Yeah.
Yep.
Shits and Gigs had a little media tour, and one of their stops was Flagrant, Andrew Schulz's podcast. And they had the podcast, and in the podcast there was like this bit about like black women that didn't really fly too well.
It was the black girlfriend effect, right?
Yeah, they were basically talking about like how white dudes, when they get with black girls,
glow up.
Yeah.
That's the concept of the trend, but he didn't take it in that direction.
Well, yeah, I mean, the glow up is like, they start like buzzing their hair, they start having fades, and they start growing beards. And he was saying that they do that because the black girlfriend in question would be like pulling the guy's hair and punching him. So he grows the beard to like soften the punches. You
literally explained this so bad.
Did I not?
Okay, the black girlfriend effect, like you said, white men start dating black women and they're blessed enough to experience a glow up.
Think Travis Kelce.
Usually, well,
before
old Travis Kelce. Usually they get fades and grow beards because of their girlfriend's influence on their lives.
Sure.
But Andrew took this wholesome, funny little trend and he twisted it and he made it sound like they get fades. Why?
Because they buzz their hair because they can't get their hair pulled anymore.
Insane. And then they grow beards so it's padding when they get slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Literally.
Obviously, it's super off color. It's
off
super
what?
Like it's off. Like it's not a good joke. Yo, you do this every time I say a word that you've never heard before. It's super inappropriate and and obviously at the time the Shits and Gigs hosts, they were laughing with him at the time.
They didn't say anything. They just giggled with him on the couch.
And that was where the outrage really came from.
Yes, because the majority of their fan base are black women.
Yeah.
And the only reason they're successful is because of black women.
Yeah. And so it was a frenzy on Twitter. Everybody went stupid crazy on Twitter about this, and they were like,
TikTok as well.
How dare you let this white man joke to you about your people like that, and you just laugh it off. And then the next episode of Shits and Gigs, they do like a 5-minute intro saying like they apologize and they didn't want to be there and it was really uncomfortable, but they just didn't know what to say.
Yes.
And they felt like they were forced to laugh along with the joke. Which what?
Whatever, like, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just think...
They're two grown men and they could have said something, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, but also on the apology, I think they wouldn't have apologized had the reaction not been...
Oh, they wouldn't have, because obviously if the reaction hadn't been huge, they wouldn't have felt the need to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Maybe within their own circles or privately, they would have had a conversation about it after.
Yeah.
But they definitely wouldn't have had a 5-minute apology segment
for sure.
if the outrage wasn't on the kind of level that it was.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen Shits and Gigs since.
Yeah, they've actually fallen off since that.
I actually crazy. Haven't. I would be so interested to study their viewership and see the trends because they were on my For You page all the time. Yeah. And genuinely haven't seen them since. I've got one Shits and Gigs clip served to me since that happened, and it's probably been like 2-3 months. 3 months.
Yeah, 3-4.
Wild.
Yeah. Enter Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has been the artist of this year, rapper of the year, definitely, and he's been active. And he comes out with a surprise album called GNX. First song of the album called Whack That Murals. He has a line where he goes, "Don't let no white comedian talk about black women. That's law."
Period.
Bars. And now everybody, and I mean everybody on the internet started putting 2 and 2 together. And
I mean, it's not fucking hard to draw the connection.
Yeah. And immediately everybody's eyes went on to Andrew Schulz. They're like, Like that was the headlines.
Yes.
From the album, that was the headlines. And
has he said anything? Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh God, here we
I
go.
think this is where you actually like.
Here we go.
This is where you banned me from playing him in my Spotify anymore. Because
no, he's getting blocked.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh fuck! I already know he's such a loser.
I don't even know. I don't feel comfortable even quoting for some of this shit.
Yuck.
Okay, so he has his own podcast, and then he has Brilliant Idiots, which is with Charlamagne. But his own podcast, he's kind of like the actual main like leader or like the main guy, and the three people next to him are kind of like yes men in a way. Like they're all buddies, but like they're all yes men and stuff.
Yes.
And so, yeah, his reaction to that was first pointing out the hypocrisy about like a rapper telling a comedian how to treat women. There's kind of I'm devil's advocate. There is some validity in that. Rap has
Can
been
we
notorious.
not like? Can he not look specifically at the rapper he's calling out? I do understand that rappers are notorious for like being womanizers and like fucking around.
Yeah.
But Kendrick Lamar's been married to the same woman since he was like a teenager.
Yes, but he was more calling out the fact that like the hypocrisy of Kendrick Lamar by not him, the artist he works with.
What a fucking weak argument.
I don't think that's that weak.
What a weak argument. Are you kidding me? He couldn't even call out the person like that actually like, you know, Kendrick that actually did this to him, anything to him. So he's like talking about who he collaborates with and his peers. What a weak argument. It's like someone dissing me and then I go, oh, well, what about your fucking sister? Like,
no, but it's dissing you for the same thing. Like, if you call me out for some shit, but your brother does the same thing, I'm like,
I'm not my brother. Weak argument.
Really?
Really weak.
Okay. So
that's so lame. What a loser.
If Kendrick Lamar threatens Spotify to pull his music from Spotify, if they also pull R. Kelly's music.
What?
So a couple years ago, like back when R. Kelly was about to go down, Spotify like had taken him off the platform. You're not
speaking into the mic at all.
Spotify has taken him off the platform, and Kendrick Lamar started threatening that he would pull his own music if R. Kelly pulled his music.
Weirdo behavior. Why'd he do that?
That's what Andrew Schulz is saying.
Okay.
Okay, there's that.
The point doesn't stand, though.
No, okay, this is still devil's advocate. My goat will not go down.
Okay. I'm actually cringing.
And the other thing is that Kendrick Lamar has also recently announced that he'll be working with South Park.
The cartoon.
Yes.
Right.
And South Park has been notorious for making fun of everybody, but also like black people is part of everybody. And so he just thinks it's like kind of funny that like he's collabing with this comedy series when he couldn't take a joke that Andrew Schulz was saying.
Sure.
Your thoughts?
I just think, like, once again, like, if you can't come for Kendrick directly, don't come at all.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have it in you to go and fucking, like, at least Drake tried.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, at least he tried. Like, if you can't come for him, then don't come for fucking the industry, his peers, and South Park.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weak.
And then the last thing I'll say is that, like, his response, this is where it gets real ugly, I think, is that he was like entertaining this idea of like Kendrick Lamar's people will fuck him up. Like Andrew Schulz is not claiming he's a tough guy whatsoever. But Andrew Schulz says that like one-on-one, him versus Kendrick Lamar, and I quote, he can make sweet love to that man. And it gets even uglier. He can make sweet love to that man, and Kendrick's choice is either gonna be it's consensual or it's not. And so people took that, and obviously it went stupid viral on Twitter.
It's so easy to hate me, seriously.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of connotation about like just the way he was talking. It was very like slave master-esque.
Weirdo.
Like it was very like slavery.
Wait, sorry.
coded.
He can take Kendrick one-on-one.
So no, he was saying Kendrick Lamar's people can fuck him up. He's not a tough guy.
Can't fuck him up.
No, can fuck him up.
Who's Kendrick Lamar's people?
Like the gangs he's with, the bodyguards,
they
like
can
the goons.
Fuck him up.
Yeah,
okay, sure.
He's not claiming he's a tough guy, but he's saying one-on-one, him and Kendrick Lamar in a room, he can make sweet love to that man, and Kendrick's response is that it could either be consensual or it's not.
I have no words.
But
Kendrick said that, or Andrew?
No,
said
Andrew
that?
said
it's going to be.
He can fuck Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick's choice is either it's consensual or it's not.
What actually goes through his head?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and so people took that on Twitter, and obviously it went stupid viral, and because like the whole talk from
and he said this
from that point
on a podcast that he had to sit down,
edit,
turn the microphone on, record, edit, watch for approval, schedule, and publish.
Yeah, and the whole talk after that point that I just said was very like slavery coded, kind of like it just felt weird. He was like, I can make him sit on my lap, kind of thing. Like it was just,
what a weirdo.
It was kind of yucky. It was kind of yucky. So and then he had a more recent podcast with Charlamagne the God, the Brilliant Idiots. Their podcast is called, and he was saying how like he's starting to get like threats to his family and his daughter and stuff, and it's like.
Bruh,
I don't know.
Did you just hear what I just said?
Yeah.
He sat down, recorded, edited, and uploaded this podcast.
Yeah.
Be so for real.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone should threaten his family, should threaten his kids.
No.
But like a little bit of critical thinking, like you uploaded this onto the internet.
Yeah.
Wild.
I feel like the best thing he should have done is not respond.
At all. And it wasn't even directly at him.
He never said his name.
It was, but I feel like it's more of a dig at Shits and Gigs. Like, Shits and Gigs allowed the behavior and didn't correct him.
Yeah.
Like, don't let a white comedian talk about black women.
Yeah, the song was addressing them. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's such, like, he just wants to be relevant so bad.
So I think Andrew Schulz has 6 months to live, probably. The next time he touches down in LA, I think he gets... I really think so, bro.
Really?
Like he's so disrespectful to Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar is like super like Crips, like he's so gang affiliated, like he runs LA pretty much. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't like to be Kendrick Lamar's top op.
This is why you can't let white people get too comfortable. Seriously, this is what happens.
Yeah, and I think the reason that has happened is because he is surrounded with not white people.
Yeah.
Like there's black people that like
that co-op him,
enable that.
like enable him and never correct him and allowed for the behavior and then this is how we end up.
And really those are the main culprits in my opinion.
Yeah.
Cause like, but
I mean, the album's great. Thank you, Kendrick, for blessing us with that. Yeah. And also Shits and Gigs, like I don't think it's a cancelable offense forever, but definitely learn from this.
Yeah. That you guys can come back. Andrew, it's never too late to apologize. Apologize before you get taken off the face of the planet.
Dal needs to get a new favorite podcast.
Yeah.
Like ASAP.
Hey, Joe Rogan.
It's really fucking hard, like, to find a podcast that's not problematic if you're a man.
Yeah.
Like, name one podcast run by a man that's not problematic.
Not yet, guys. 2025. No, but I mean, the whole thing is kind of icky, and I don't feel that comfortable with saying Andrew Schulz is my goat, so I will take that back for the time being.
No, for good, surely.
For
no one should be your goat, bro.
Okay,
no one should be
can
your
we
goat.
just talk
They'll
about this real
always let
quick?
you down. Yeah.
I think with comedians, the point is like, or like the luxury that comedians get is that there is no lines. Like they can literally get away with anything and claim it's a joke. And I guess you're not on board with that.
No, I've had this conversation so many times because Finn really loves comedy, and I just think like there should be a line, and I think like it's quite. I don't know. I'm not claiming like I'm clearly not the target audience. Yeah. Because I'm a sensitive little bitch, but like, and I get offended. But I do think that there should be a line there that like we don't cross. How that line looks, I don't know. How you would like actually like monitor, like I don't know. It's too hard of like an industry to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Parole?
Not parole, but like essentially what I'm saying. It's too hard of an industry to do that. Yeah. I just wish that comedians weren't assholes. Yeah.
And claim it's comedy.
I wish that we made funny people famous, yes, but funny people that aren't cunts. Yeah. That would be fabulous.
Yeah.
And they could look within and decide, oh, I probably shouldn't say that on a stage in front of like this huge group of people, and then have Netflix film it and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah. So guys, if you have any podcast recommendations, hit me up. I think it's going to be, from one white boy to one white girl. Kylie Jenner is in the mix.
Our favorite white girl.
This is taking us back to 2018. Think prime peak Snapchat, I guess. Streaks were a thing. I think they're still a thing.
This, like, people still have them.
That's insane to me. Yo, if you're over the age of 18 and you have streaks, you need to like really look within. And basically Snapchat in 2018 obviously was trying to experiment with a lot of different features because Instagram had just rolled out stories, I think, at the time. Right. Or maybe just before that. And Snapchat had came out with like the new like spotlight, like where basically creators can get their own page rather than just like your friends' stories.
Yes.
And people really hated that at the time. I don't know if you remember, but people really pushed back and they were like, why are we changing? Like, the cool thing about this is that you can like swipe through your friends' stories and then you can swipe through like Kanye West's story.
Yes.
And like it just felt like seamless. Like it didn't feel like this is my friend, this is a creator that has catering to me. And one of the main people that really like hated that was Kylie Jenner. Mm-hmm. And she simply tweeted in 2018. I mean, she must have been what, 20 maybe or something like that.
Right.
She tweeted something like, "Oh, this new Snapchat feature is so sad. Like I can't even open the app anymore." Tweet went stupid viral. It's amassed over 200,000 likes in like just over 48 hours, and it caused the shares of Snapchat to go down.
Insane.
By 6%, which at the time was equivalent to 1.3 billion with a B dollars. And it just goes to show you. Yeah, from just that tweet.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you like how powerful these people are. Mm-hmm. Like it's insane. Like it really hit me when Cristiano in the last World Cup like put down just a Coke can to the side and he was like, drink water. And that shit caused like a 10% decline in Coca-Cola or something like that. It was insane. And it's a little scary how much like...
That's why what people say matters. Like...
Okay.
That's why. Like... This is like direct correlation between Kylie Jenner saying something about Snapchat and their stocks going down and the whole Coke thing, right? Like we saw like those businesses saw like a financial decrease in whatever their stocks because of something said. But I feel like there's a greater conversation here to be had about why the things we say matter, especially if you're a person of influence. Like I just watched a TikTok yesterday about just how reckless Elon Musk speaks.
Yes.
And how much influence he has and how that like actually affects, like it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
It affects businesses like we just pointed out, but it also affects like
real life people,
the political climate, like so many things.
Yeah. Especially with Elon Musk. He's a bit like wicked with it because like he would like right when he bought X, his influence was like bigger than ever. I feel like it's dimmed down now a little bit. But he would be like so reckless with like cryptocurrency coins and stuff that like people have really lost their livelihoods from that. People have also made millions, don't get me wrong, but like with just like one simple like 2-word tweet, he could affect fucking markets and billions of dollars of value.
Wild.
Which is insane. How did we let people get to that?
Yeah. I mean, it also goes to a smaller scale, right? Like we all know celebrity endorsements are huge and they benefit businesses and they're a great marketing tactic. Yeah. But even on a smaller level, like when a brand is launching and they get like a well-established group of creators to speak about them, makes a huge difference in their launch.
Yeah. Is there a responsibility you think that influencers should have before speaking or anything like that? Or is it just like their audience is not their responsibility?
Like I just said, like wouldn't it be great if we made good people famous?
Yeah.
But we can't. I feel like you can't
get famous without being bad.
Like, you can't police influencers. You can't make them all care about what they say.
Yeah.
You can't drill into them that they have a responsibility and a duty of care to their audience.
Yeah.
But you can just hope that the right people gain influence. But it's not the world we live in. So honestly, it's just like kind of a free-for-all in the influencer space. Which is why I only follow creators that I actually genuinely believe are good people. Like I had no jump scares during the election. Every creator that I follow, and I'll say that loud and proud, every creator that I follow did not surprise me with how they voted in the election.
Yeah.
There was no secret little Trump supporters hiding on my For You page.
No Bryce Hall.
Because, like, do you have, like, be so fucking for real. You think Nara Smith's a Democrat?
Yeah.
She's a fucking... I
Trump,
can't.
she's a Trumpy.
I can't. She's literally a Mormon and her whole page is propaganda. Like, let's be so for real, guys.
Yeah.
Like, stop being mad at influencers and just follow the right people.
Yeah. What are signs, you think? Like, how do you know, how do you have that hunch that, like, oh, these people are your people and they wouldn't switch up?
They actually speak on issues, right? So it's not like, oh, I'm just like, I'm not a political person.
Yeah.
Like, they actually speak on things that are important to them. So then it's pretty easy, you know, like I'm not saying that they become activists and all of their content is about that, but it's pretty easy to spot when someone genuinely has values aligned to you when they speak about things that matter to you. Like,
you gotta
it's
stand
really
for something.
not a secret.
You gotta stand for something.
Exactly. And like, I'm not saying like I don't follow people that have like never spoken on political issues, because I probably do, but that's kind of like, there's no like secret formula to figuring out if creators are good people. Like, they genuinely just speak up in a moment where the world kind of needs it.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to like align with celebrities, to just see like how their morals are, like what their causes are, kind of thing. Because I feel like those celebrities that like really don't stand for anything are just like lifeless, soulless robots that just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's different in real life, right? Like, we all know people in real life that we actually have conversations with and we get to know, and we know kind of where they stand in life and how they feel about certain issues. And they might not post it on social media because they're just regular schmigular people. But when we're talking about celebrities and influencers, like when you post every single aspect of your life, unless you have like super niche content that like you only post a certain type of thing, like it's pretty easy to gather how someone feels about things.
Fair enough. Guys, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning to the YAP Podcast. If you have any podcast recommendations, any Andrew Schulz replacements, let me know. Kendrick Lamar, I love you.
Love you, Kendrick. Andrew, go to hell.
See you tomorrow.
Vote
Peace.
left.